The Holy Gospel according to Mark. Glory to you, O Lord. Some, testing Jesus, asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" He answered them, "What did Moses command you?" They said, "Moses allowed a man to write a certificate of dismissal and to divorce her." But Jesus said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, he wrote this commandment for you. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." Then in the house, the disciples asked him again about this matter. He said to them, "Whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery against her, and if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery." People were bringing children to him in order that he might touch them, and the disciples spoke sternly to them. But when Jesus saw this, he was indignant and said to them, "Let the children come to me, and do not stop them, for it is to such as these that the kingdom of God belongs. Truly, I tell you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God as a little child will never enter it." And he took them up in his arms, laid his hands on them, and blessed them. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. We almost know the story by heart. When God began to create the heavens and the earth, over the course of the 6 days of creation, God speaks something into existence, and so it appears. Let there be light. Okay, we're going to try that again. Let there be light.
Let there be light.
No, this is not repeat after me. I guess this is guess what I'm thinking. You're supposed to finish the rest of that verse. Let there be light, and there was light. Okay, so let's back up. Over the course of the 6 days of creation, God speaks something into existence, and it appears, let there be light.
And there was light.
Let there be sky and waters and sun and moon and stars and animals on the ground and birds of the air and fish in the seas, and so they are. And at the end of each day, God saw that
it was good.
Oh, that's so much better. It was good. All was good. And by the 6th day, when creation was nearly finished, indeed it was very good. And then all of a sudden, it is not good. Now, of course, you all know, being the good biblical scholars that you are, that Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 are actually two different accounts of creation from two different sources, two different writers, but in their final form, they exist side by side. And so I can't help but wonder if the writer of Genesis, in editing the final manuscript as we have it today, so many hundreds of years later, used these parallel phrases on purpose as a literary technique to grab our attention. Maybe it's pure speculation, but the repetitive nature of it was good, it was good, it was very good, on and on for 6 whole days, and then all of a sudden it is not good. It's jarring. It grabs our attention. Something is not good. Something is awry. It is not good that the man should be alone. The man, in English, Adam, from where we get Adam in Hebrew, but Adam in Hebrew, a being without a distinct gender, as we understand gender, a creature formed from the dust of the earth, the Adamah, the ground, an earth creature, an earthling, if you will. It is not good that this earth creature should be alone. Who will be their helper and their partner? The cattle? The birds? Not exactly. But another Adam, another creature formed from this first one, from the same earth, from its rib, from its side. This is another creature like Adam, formed from Adam, a creature equal to and finally suitable as a helper and a partner. Hebrew lesson number 2, this is Ezer, not a diminutive, subservient helper who waits on another, but a partner on equal footing, and perhaps even stronger or more powerful. My Ezer, my help, comes from the Lord, the psalmist declares. This Ezer, at last, is a suitable companion for Adam, a co-caretaker of creation, one like Adam, made in the image of God. Here at last is community. It is not good to be alone. From the very beginning, we are created to be in community with one another. This is what Jesus understood to be true when he responded to yet another trap set by the religious leaders who posed to him this trick question about divorce. Now, to be perfectly clear, this first century dialogue is not about divorce as we understand it today. It's not even about marriage as we understand it today, and we don't have time to get to that sermon, but I just want to say that. I also want to wait for this plane to pass over. Allegiant Airlines, if you were wondering. So again, to be perfectly clear, this text, problematic as it has become and been misused by the church, is not about divorce or marriage as we understand it today. This is much more about God's intention for human beings to live in partnership and in community with one another, and the ways that we have sought to undermine that community, to redefine it for our own self-centered and self-serving purposes. And so it's why Jesus, somewhat inexplicably, but yet again, plucks a child out of the crowd, centering someone without status or privilege, in order to reveal what the kingdom of God is like. As if to say, it's not about you, singular, it's about you, plural. It's about y'all. From the very beginning, we were created to be a part of a community. This is what we recognize today when we set apart this day to bless our creaturely companions, to recognize that these animals are an inextricable part of our lives, that they too are a part of our community. From the very beginning, we are created to be in a community with one another and with all creation, to care for one another, to be helpers, ezer, to one another, partners in the caretaking of our common home, to be as one flesh, one body. When one part of the body suffers, all suffer with it. When another part rejoices, all rejoice with it. None of us exists in isolation, but always a part of a wider community, an interconnected web, the community of all creation, a community entrusted to our care. As co-creators with God and with each other, a community that we honor and bless this day, a community together that God calls very good.